The sun setting on a beautiful November day as the Ball State Cardinals look to bounce back from a loss last night against a motivated Chippewas team tonight. It's senior night in Worthen Arena. Women's volleyball next on ESPN3. Welcome into Worthen Arena for this women's volleyball match between the Central Michigan Chippewas and the Ball State Cardinals. Central Michigan coming in desperate, needing a win to ensure a spot in the Mid-American Conference Tournament.
Last night completely shook up the standings. Had Ball State or Central Michigan won, we'd have a much clearer picture for the MAC tournament, but instead the 6, 7, and 8 seeds are completely up for grabs between 4 teams.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Corey Stace alongside Noah Reed. And Noah, we talked about it. It should be another great match here tonight, the last match of the regular season. These two teams did play earlier this season on October 9th, and Central Michigan got the best of the Cardinals.
And the Chippewas did so in dominating fashion. But you have a feeling that tonight could be a little bit different inside Worthen Arena. There's 6 seniors on this team, and they all want to go out on a good note.
And Central Michigan, they need a win to get in tonight. If they would lose, they would need Eastern Michigan to lose at Toledo, a place where Central Michigan just lost last night. For the Cardinals, though, a little bit different situation as they're already locked into the tournament.
And I think the biggest thing for Ball State is play relaxed tonight. You're already locked into the MAC tournament. With a win, you're the 6th seed. If you lose tonight and other teams around the MAC win, you could drop down to 7 or 8. So yes, it is important to win tonight, but stay relaxed and don't be uptight if you're the Cardinals.
For Central Michigan to ensure a spot in the tournament, they need a big contribution from Jordan Buter. 18 kills last night in the 5-set loss at Toledo. She's a big player for them. And for the Cardinals, it's the same player that it's been all year. Alex Filling, the senior leader. She had 13 kills last night in a 4-set loss against Eastern Michigan.
As you said, Corey, both of them coming off of very good performances. 18 kills, 17 digs for Buter. Filling 13 kills to go along with 19 digs. And when you look at the two statistically, they're very similar. Both lead their respective teams in kills per set, but if you're Alex Filling, you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder tonight. It's the very last time you'll ever suit up in a Cardinal uniform inside Worthen Arena.
The Ball State Cardinals seniors looking to go out on a positive note here in Worthen Arena tonight. Earlier today, Noah Reed and I had a chance to catch up with Steve Shondell, Amanda Raker, and Jenna Spadafora talking about this senior class and tonight's match.
I've just had so much fun coaching. They are a great group. Really proud of all of them. I think they have great futures in life. They're really good student athletes.
I mean, this is our last match that we'll ever play in Worthen Arena, so we want to go out with all we can for our fans and for ourselves because this is it for us.
They've made coaching fun. You know, we practice at 7 o'clock every morning. I have to get out of bed at 5:30, but I always have something to look forward to because this group is so much fun to coach.
It would feel really good to end our last match at home on a win. I love Worthen Arena, and you know, I want that memory to be a win for me and my other 5 seniors. I would love it.
And as Jenna Spadafora said, senior night here would be huge for the Ball State Cardinals to come out with a win, not only just for the seniors, but also to assure their spot in the Mid-American Conference Tournament.
Well, you have 6 seniors on this roster, and they're all very experienced. A lot of these have played all 4 years here, who have played a lot together. But yes, like you said, more importantly than tonight being senior night, it's important to go out on a positive note and have more confidence heading into the MAC tournament.
And for this match tonight, we talked about it earlier, Central Michigan got the best of the Cardinals in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. What needs to change for the Ball State Cardinals tonight? And even with last night's loss against Eastern Michigan, a lot of errors attacking-wise.
Well, when you look at it, the Central Michigan game from earlier in October and last night's Eastern Michigan match, both of those, Ball State wasn't very aggressive. They were back on their heels. There wasn't a whole lot of defense going on for the Cardinals, and that, you saw that last night. 5 people on the Eastern Michigan roster had at least 8 kills. Central Michigan had 3 people who had double-figure kills in these last matches. So the big thing for Ball State, in my opinion, is make sure you play more of a defensive game, send more blockers up to the net.
And getting into the starting lineups for tonight, for Central Michigan, Haley Barker, Jordan Buter, Courtney Hiltebrand, Paige Carey, Callie Mulford and Nicole Sanchez is what the setter for Central Michigan goes by. Also at the libero position, Jamie Wolfis. For the Ball State Cardinals, Mackenzie Kitchell, Alex Filling, Amanda Raker, Jenna Spadafora, Kelly Hopkins, Lauren Schreiner, and at the libero position tonight is Katie Vasilakis. 5 seniors in that starting lineup, including the libero. The only senior that we will see mixed in tonight, I'm sure, is Marissa Hine, the transfer from Belmont.
Lauren Schreiner once again gets a start as a freshman. She's been on a great tear lately, but like you said, Marissa Hine will definitely get some time.
Officials for tonight, Carl Koopman, Bill Zalier, and line judges Dave Bryant and Doug White. Getting ready for first serve here, and as the Ball State Cardinals have owned the series history so far, but the Central Michigan Chippewas beat them in 4 sets on October 9th earlier this year. The Ball State Cardinals had won the previous 4 meetings between the two. Alex Filling will get us started here in Worthen Arena on senior night. The attack on the left side by Beater. Beater again on the left side. Kitchell's attack on the left side sails too long.
I talked about it earlier just a little bit ago. Ball State doing a much better job tonight, sending multiple blockers up to the net. Both attacks from Central Michigan, you saw 2 Ball State defenders right there at the net.
Back to serve the libero, Jamie Wolfis. Kitchell tips into the back left corner of the Central Michigan defense for the kill.
That's what makes Kitchell so good right there, is she does a nice job of knowing when to attack hard and when to go more finesse. She did so there, did a nice job of finding the back left corner where nobody for Central Michigan was at.
Mackenzie Kitchell last night ended a streak of 6 matches in a row with 6 or more kills. She only had 5 last night as Paige Carey comes from the middle of the Chippewas offense for the kill.
A little bit of a miscommunication there for Ball State. Lauren Schreiner jumped up toward the front row and left Alex Filling to hang in the back left corner.
Teresa Beckman, the associate head coach for Central Michigan, an interesting situation. Earlier this season, Eric Olson was the Central Michigan head coach. He is on a paid leave of absence, but Central Michigan University and the players declined to comment on the situation, so Teresa Beckman is the woman in charge of this women's volleyball team. Raker from the middle. The set from the libero, Wolfis, a little short, and Taylor Robertson can't put it over the net. Steve Shondell, the women's volleyball coach for the Ball State Cardinals in his 6th year. Previous to his 6 years here at Ball State, he coached 34 years at Burris Laboratory, where he won 21 state championships at a small high school next to Ball State. A very accomplished head coach, even though he's only in his 6th year. As you see, the Cardinals get another point to tie the first set up at 3.
Not only 21 state titles that Steve Shondell had, but when you look at his career record, 1,183 wins, 95 losses. It doesn't get much better than that.
And he knows volleyball pretty well from his dad, Don Shondell. Set to the left side to Kitchell. Beater wide right with the attack.
Good thought there, though, by Beater, because it was a bad pass coming from Ball State. She was able to tee herself up and go with the hard attack, but she sent it a little bit too long on the right side.
Jenna Spadafora, the setter for the Cardinals, back to serve. Beater again on the left side for the Chippewas. Filling from the back row gets it through the hands of Central Michigan for the kill.
Alex Filling coming from the back row is almost as efficient as she is in the front row, which is incredible. As you see, a good set, she's able to come from the back row, and she did that a couple times last night against Eastern Michigan as well.
From the middle is Robertson. Great one-handed set by Spadafora and great pass over by Kitchell. Through the middle is Paige Carey with the kill off the great set from Nicole Sanchez.
That might have been one of those with Spadafora. She did a great job of keeping it in play and bringing it back with just one hand, but that was one of those where I wouldn't have been surprised if she would have tried a quick tap over the net just because of how close she was to the net.
Beater's first time serving. She's one of the best in the Mid-American Conference. Spadafora with the quick hit over right into the area where Central Michigan wasn't. As Marissa Hine checks into the game, the senior, and now all 6 seniors have seen action already here in set number 1 with only 10 points in. Great kill in the middle by Robertson. A lot of power behind the right-handed swing.
We talk a lot about Beater, but Robertson is a 1A for the Central Michigan offense. 302 kills on the season. That's good for nearly 3 kills per set. So rightfully so, Beater gets a lot of talk, but Robertson's right behind her.
Raker blocked at the net. Great dig from Vasilakis. And it's Callie Mulford who puts it home, the middle blocker out of California.
Surprised Ball State didn't send anybody up to the net there to try to block that because the ball came right over, as you can see right here. Nobody at the net for Ball State, and it made it easy for Mulford to be able to put that down on the Ball State defense.
Raker cross-court kill from the right side. 7-6, Ball State. A near advantage to start set 1. Great cross-court action on that attack. Robertson on the right side, and that's going to count as a kill. It was Jessica Lindsay chasing for it on the Ball State side.
Great hustle there by Lindsay. She came from the opposite side of the court and almost got the pancake, but the ball dropped on the ground right before she was able to get to it.
Bad pass from the Cardinals. On the left side is Mitri, who puts it home down the line.
Mitri is someone here in her sophomore season. Last year as a freshman, she never had more than 7 kills in a match. This year, she's already topped that 6 times.
Haley Barker, the server, has played in all 112 sets for Central Michigan as miscommunication between Spadafora and her attackers gives Central Michigan another point.
You can't really describe that anything other than miscommunication. Jenna Spadafora put a great set, but there was just nobody there as 2 people watched it drop on the ground.
Lindsay up from the middle. Filling down the line. Unable to handle it was Haley Barker in the back row.
No miscommunication that time between Spadafora and Filling. A great set across the court from Spadafora. Filling was able to hammer it home.
Lauren Schreiner, the freshman, back to serve for the Cardinals. Great quick tap over from Nicole Sanchez with the left hand.
For the Chippewa substitution,
Courtney Hildebrand out of Urbana, Ohio. The Ball State women's basketball team just played Urbana University in their exhibition match, which is where Hildebrand comes from. And that attack on the right side hit the antenna for the Central Michigan point. Hildebrand serve this time, sails wide right.
And that's something that's plagued Ball State all season long, is their service errors and their attacking errors, and that time they're the beneficiary of an error.
Filling to serve for the Cardinals. 13 kills last night in the 4-set loss. Spadafora taps it, and it just is an inch too far as we saw it drop down close to the back line.
That must have been just over the line. I know we don't have the best of views from right here, but I thought that looked like it tapped the line, so great placement, maybe just a little bit too far by Spadafora.
Spadafora goes right back with the quick hit, and this time it works with the left hand.
And for Spadafora, that's just all about experience that she's got over the last 4 years, knowing what to do in certain times. Her awareness on the floor just can't be matched.
Bad pass in the back row from Barker gives Ball State the point. Hopkins back to serve for the Cardinals. 2 service aces last night, but also 2 errors. Beater on the left side goes hard with the right-handed swing cross court.
Beater has had a lot of opportunities here tonight, but that's only her first kill of the match as she goes cross court with that one. The Ball State defense has done a nice job of sending multiple blockers up to the net when Beater's on the attack.
Nicole Sanchez, the setter, back to serve. Kitchell on the left side, blocked at the net, but it traveled out of bounds. Jenna Spadafora with 23 aces on the season for the Cardinals. Back to serve. Robertson tip on the left side. Robertson's attack blocked at the net, solo by Mackenzie Kitchell.
Mackenzie Kitchell had 4 blocks last night. She's been making her presence known not only on the offensive side, but on the defensive side as well, as she goes up solo for that one.
And that is a carry on Paige Carey as Nicole Sanchez had to adjust midair to get a hand on the pass. 14-13, Ball State in a back and forth set number 1. Kitchell's quick attack unsuccessful, and Central Michigan point on the attacking error.
That time Ball State was in a quick scramble mode because it looked like Mackenzie Kitchell was going to be able to quick tap that one over the net, but it hit the net and bounced back on their side, and Filling was in scramble mode.
Raker tip into the zone. Again, Raker, this time sails wide right. Ball State trails 15-14 against Central Michigan in set number 1. We'll have more action for you when we come back on ESPN3. Back here in Worthen Arena, where Central Michigan leads by 1 in a back and forth set number 1 here on senior night in Worthen Arena. All 6 seniors for the Cardinals have already seen playing time. Kitchell comes up from the back row. Raker in the middle on a quick hit after a quick set from Jenna Spadafora.
Very smart play there by Jenna Spadafora. Central Michigan's defense was scrambling around as she just gives a quick set in the middle right to Raker, and she was able to go right down the middle with it.
Only blocker in the area was Paige Carey, who was a little too far to the left. Hard right-handed swing from Jessica Mitri on the left side. We've seen that twice now.
It's already Mitri's second kill of the night. She had 6 kills the last time Central Michigan and Ball State met up earlier this year at Mount Pleasant.
Block at the net on the Alex Filling attack. It was Callie Mulford and Taylor Robertson who were there for Central Michigan.
Mulford standing in at 6'4". It's hard to get it past her. She's second on the team this season with just under 1 block per set.
7 ties and 4 lead changes already here in set number 1. And there's another Ball State Cardinals point to cut the Central Michigan lead to 1. Steve Shondell, I'm sure, has to like a little bit more effort tonight, as the Cardinals came out flat last night against Eastern Michigan when they dropped the first 2 sets. That attack on the right side by Taylor Robertson. And it's been Robertson, not Beater, who's gotten more action early in set number 1.
You mentioned about Ball State coming out flat last night. Haven't done that at all tonight. They've done a nice job. Both teams really haven't looked flat at all.
Hopkins with the hard right-handed swing.
It's good to see Hopkins getting going early. Her first kill of the night. She's only had 1 match in the last 8 where she's reached double-figure kills.
The Hopkins hammer, as is referred to here in Worthen Arena. Tip from Mitri in the middle. Filling on the left-sided tip. Cannot be dug out by Barker in the back row.
We're used to seeing Alex Filling being the hardest hitting attacker that Ball State has, but here recently tonight, she has 4 kills, 3 of which have been more of a finesse where she's just tapped it over the Central Michigan defense.
A tied score once again, and Lauren Schreiner with that service error gives Central Michigan the 1-point lead back.
Now serving is Courtney.
Filling up through the middle, and it hit off of a blocker's hand at the net and dropped down inbounds.
Alex Filling has had 12 matches this year where she has double-digit kills, already 5 on the night, as she was able to go cross-court with it.
Looked like it may have touched the hand of Callie Mulford at the net, number 21. Beater on the left side. Spadafora, a quick tap to the right corner, and she is so good at that, just finding the areas of the defense where they're not.
You rarely see her make a mistake on deciding what to do, whether to set it or quick tap it over the net. It seems as if almost every time she does that, it drops on the floor for a Ball State point.
And that's why she's ranked top 10 in the Mid-American Conference in hitting percentage at that setter position.
Not only top 10 in hitting percentage, but we mentioned it last night, she's 3rd in the country in kills among setters.
With last night's performance, she moved up to 1st in the country.
Net violation.
Net violation on Central Michigan for another Ball State point. And after they trailed, they now find themselves with a 2-point lead. Beater on the left side. Blocked by Hopkins at the net and cannot be dug out by Vasilakis thereafter.
Back to the service line is Jamison Wolfis for the visitors.
Jamie Wolfis, the libero, back in to serve for the Chippewas. Joust at the net. Hopkins pushes it to the left side and just a little too far for the Central Michigan point.
It was a really good thought by Hopkins there, though. There was a joust at the net. It came back on the Ball State side, and everybody on Central Michigan was up at the net. She tried to go back row with it, but as you said, just a little bit past the out-of-bounds line.
Kitchell on the left side, blocked at the net and drops down inbounds anyway for the point.
Raker returns to the right. Off the bench and now serving.
Last night, the Cardinals really struggled with attacking the ball and having balance, and Jenna Spadafora tonight has done a nice job of getting a mixture of people. 4 kills on the night for Kitchell, 5 from Filling, and there's 3 other players who have at least 2 kills.
Beater tip on the left side, and Spadafora hit it at the net but couldn't cover it.
Chippewas substitution. David Robertson.
All tied once again at 22, and it seems like it's just been back and forth the whole way. Wouldn't be surprised to see this set go more than 25.
And not only I think will we see that in set number 1, but all the way through tonight, both of these teams so evenly matched, right behind one another in the MAC standings, fighting for that 6th, 7th, and 8th seed.
Kitchell hit the top of the net, and it gave it the boost to just go out of bounds to the right side. Central Michigan needs a win to ensure a spot in the Mid-American Conference tournament. So they're definitely ready to play tonight as Kitchell, another attacking error. This time it went too long.
Surprising to see that out of Kitchell. She's usually Ball State, one of their best attackers, most efficient. 2 errors in a row. That gives her 3 errors already in the first set.
Steve Shondell, the 6th-year head coach for the Ball State Cardinals, takes a timeout as Central Michigan has 2 set points here in Worthen Arena with a lead of 24-22. Central Michigan needs a win to get in. They rank right now at 8. Eastern Michigan just got a win last night here in Worthen Arena. If Central Michigan were to drop tonight, Eastern Michigan wins. Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan would flip, and Eastern Michigan would get into the Mid-American Conference tournament. Also, Ball State, if they win tonight, they ensure a 6th seed in the Mid-American Conference tournament.
The biggest thing for Central Michigan at this point is you control your own destiny, and you really can't ask for much more of that on the last day of the regular season. Yes, you're playing a Ball State team at home who's 9-2. Eastern Michigan on the road against a Toledo team that's only won 3 conference matches. But in the end, Central Michigan win and you're in. We've talked about it before, and that's the biggest thing for the Chippewas right now.
Let's go, fans. Let's rally your
Nicole Sanchez out of Puerto Rico, and also was a transfer from Western Community College, Iowa Western Community College. Vasilakis struggles with the serve. Robertson on the right side, a solo block from Kitchell.
I really like coming out of that timeout how Spadafora went right back to Kitchell. Kitchell had made 2 errors in a row. She was up to 3 for the set and maybe would have gotten down on herself again, but a great job going back to her, and that time she was able to get the block.
Just barely stays in bounds on Central Michigan's side. Raker cross court. And now Alex Filling from the back row. Sanchez can't handle it in the back row for Central Michigan.
The Cardinals are in the perfect spot in their rotation right now. They've got their 4 best attackers in the game right now. Alex Filling coming from the back row does a nice job of putting it down the right line.
Sanchez set to the left side. Great touch from Robertson. Neither team wanting to give an inch. Robertson on the left side, right into the middle of Ball State's defense.
Robertson can really emerge as that number 2 attacker for Central Michigan. You got your eyes on Beater, but there go cross court does Robertson, does a nice job. That's her 4th kill tonight, which is a team lead.
Only 1 less attack than Beater as well. Jessica Lindsay on the left side. Raker just has to push it over. Robertson's attack on the right side blocked by Mackenzie Kitchell. Amanda Raker was there as well.
Unbelievable performance so far for Mackenzie Kitchell. You hate to see her have to go out because of her spot in the rotation right now, but 3 solo blocks already on the night for Mackenzie Kitchell, doing it both offensively and defensively for the Cardinals.
Block at the net for the Cardinals, and they keep it alive. Mitri on the left side puts it right into the hands of Jessica Lindsay.
You called it a little bit ago, Corey. You said this match was going to go more than 25 points, and we've got that already. It's been back and forth. It seems like every other point goes to each team.
Central Michigan here with an opportunity. pass to Sanchez, and Alex Filling puts it home on the Ball State side.
Great decision there by Alex Filling. The Central Michigan back row was scrambling, trying to get back in position. She didn't worry about trying to make it a 3-hit possession. Did a great job going up right at the net and getting her 7th kill of the match.
Robertson, tip on the right side. Great dig from Vasilakis. Lindsay on the right side for the Cardinals point. The Cardinals have their first set point of set number 1. And Teresa Beckman, the associate head coach for Central Michigan, will take a timeout. Lindsay put it into the hands of Mitri, it looked like, on that block attempt, and it drops down for the Cardinals point. Central Michigan must be getting sick of having to play these tight sets. Last night they played at Toledo. Not one of their 5 sets was won by more than 2 points. And Central Michigan, a lot at stake still, because their backs are against the wall, and they've proven that in set number 1. Not going away, even with them, their Cardinals having set point here. I'm sure that they're going to give their all on this last point.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't fall behind 1-0 against the Cardinals inside Worthen Arena. They feed off of this crowd. They get momentum behind them, and they're extremely tough to beat when they get that first set win. And more importantly, for Central Michigan, you can't put your hopes on somebody else. You have to be able to win tonight, because Eastern Michigan is probably going to go into Toledo and beat them.
Ball State, if they win, 6th seed no matter what. If a loss, it gets a little more complicated with the seedings. Buffalo is playing at Kent State, who is a very good team in the Mid-American Conference as well. But both teams, if they win, they know their destiny. If they lose, then that's where it gets hazy. Mulford up through the middle, and Vasilakis can't handle it for the Cardinals.
It was a great timeout called by Beckman for Central Michigan, just because Ball State was getting all the momentum. Central Michigan calmed down. They come out and get a great attack from Mulford in the middle.
Spadafora and Filling. Scary moment as they almost ran into each other. Luckily, they both get up okay, but nonetheless, a Central Michigan point. They have their 4th set point of set number 1. Haley Barker, the defensive specialist, back to serve. Filling's tip is too long to the left side, and Teresa Beckman gives a fist pump on the Central Michigan sideline. 29-27, Central Michigan takes set number 1 in Worthen Arena. The 2nd time in 2 nights the Cardinals have dropped set number 1. We'll have set number 2 action for you after this break. Senior night in Worthen Arena on ESPN3. Welcome back on this Saturday night, senior night on the campus of Ball State University for the women's volleyball team. Central Michigan takes set number 1, the 2nd straight night that the Cardinals have dropped set number 1 after last night dropping it to Eastern Michigan. Central Michigan, win and get in is the situation for the Mid-American Conference Tournament. And Alex Filling and the Ball State Cardinals played well. It was just back and forth all set.
Well, Alex Filling was our player to watch for Ball State tonight, and she's shown why. 7 kills on 14 attacks. She's been tremendous early on, and you can see that she's the go-to right now for Jenna Spadafora.
More balance on the Central Michigan side. Jordan Beater, 3 kills. Taylor Robertson has actually gotten more attacks. She's, on the season averages standpoint, the number 2 attacker on this team, but she has 4 kills on 15 attacks. Ball State definitely not looking to get put in the same situation as last night, where they dropped 2-0 against Eastern Michigan. They came back in set 3, but just weren't able to close it out in set 4. They even had set point in set number 4, 24-23, but Eastern Michigan was definitely playing for more in that match.
The thing about the Cardinals is when they're playing inside Worthen Arena, they're never out of a match. But you can't keep putting yourself down in a whole 2-0 because it just makes it that much easier for the other team to close you out. But Ball State, extremely important right now to win set number 2 and go into halftime tied 1-1.
Hildebrand starts off set number 2. Beater on the left side, finesse attack. Filling on the left side, blocked at the net. Great defense all around from both squads. The Cardinals find a way to put it back over on Central side, filling with the left side attack. Easily our best rally of the match. And Jenna Spadafora finishes it with a quick hit to that top right side that she loves.
Huge point there for Ball State, not only because of it being the first point of the set and getting the point, but that was a huge rally, a lot of momentum to the Cardinals right now. As you see, Jenna Spadafora finds a perfect spot in the back right corner for that ball.
Alex Filling, service error right into the net to tie it back up after 1. I was just about to say that's the type of point that could give you a lot of momentum, but it's a momentum killer with a service error on the next point, but Central Michigan follows it up with a service error of their own.
If you're Ball State, you need to eliminate those errors. You'd be in a much better position. You probably would have been able to close out set number 1, but a lot of attacking and service errors early on tonight for Ball State.
Beater left-sided tip and solo block for Jenna Spadafora at the net.
I think there's no question that Jenna Spadafora is probably the most valuable player on this Ball State roster. She does a little bit of everything, leads the team in service aces. Obviously, she's your setter. She knows when to attack, does a great job with that, and you can see her at the net defensively with the block.
Off the head of Spadafora on that last attack. Kitchell on the left side gets it through the 2 blockers at the net, which were Angie White and Nicole Sanchez.
5th kill of the night already for Mackenzie Kitchell, and that makes now 8 matches in a row where she's had at least 5 kills.
Angie White on the right side of that blocking tandem, checking in for the first time for the Chippewas in this second set. Solo block for Kitchell. Filling from the back row. Cardinals falling down on their side. Spadafora just tosses it over. Spadafora with the quick hit and all the commotion that was happening on the Cardinals side, you thought there was no way.
Central Michigan that time just wasn't aware. Kelly Hopkins was down on the ground almost the entire possession. She fell down, wasn't able to get back up for a little bit. They could have hit it right at her, but instead went to Filling, and Ball State was able to get the point.
Filling even laughing after that point. Yes, Kitchell puts it right back down.
The Cardinals are chirping.
6-1, and Teresa Beckman, the interim head coach, takes a timeout for Central Michigan. Ball State on top early in set number 2 after dropping the first set here in Worthen Arena. Senior night for the Ball State Cardinals. Welcome back as Ball State leads 6-1 in set number 2. Beater on the left side. Now Kitchell, attack hits the back line of Central Michigan's defense.
That's now already 4 kills here in set number 2 for Mackenzie Kitchell. That gives her 7 on the night, which is tied with Alex Filling for a team high. So you can see Ball State, Jenna Spadafora going with a 1-2 setup of Filling and Kitchell.
Into the net. Point Central.
Kelly Hopkins service into the net
Returning for the Chippewas, Taylor Robertson now serving.
to put the Cardinals lead right back at 5. Nicole Sanchez, we mentioned earlier, she's a transfer from Iowa Western Community College. She was a junior college All-American in both 2013 and 2014 as Mackenzie Kitchell finishes that point for the Cardinals.
This is the Mackenzie Kitchell that we've seen the last couple weeks. Already 8 kills through 2 sets. Does a nice job of finesse kill down the line. Does a great job of putting it past the back row of Central Michigan.
Beater from the middle. High arcing dig in the back row. Lindsay again on the right side. Robertson's attack was blocked at the net, and Filling couldn't adjust fast enough in the back row for the Cardinals.
Robertson does a nice job that time of going cross court, gets her 5th kill of the night.
Jordan Beater back to serve. We've mentioned 41 service aces on the season for her. Beater from the back row, barely dug out by Filling. Lindsay on the right side. Raker in the middle, a great point, ends with a great attack from the senior.
And that's really all set up because you look at Kitchell and Filling have 8 and 7 kills respectively. Amanda Raker goes down the middle there. She's kind of been the person who's been left out, giving her only 3 kills in the night. But if you continue to go to those 2, that's going to be able to set up Amanda Raker a lot more tonight.
Only 1 blocker was there for Central Michigan, and now Marissa Hine, the senior for the Cardinals, gets her first ace of the night. Adds to her season total, which is now 6. And we expect to see Marissa Hine more tonight with it being senior night. Normally they may put Carly Capello, the freshman, in at that serving position.
The quick attack.
After the attack from Raker, Central Michigan can't handle it. Another point for Ball State to increase their lead to 8.
And that's exactly what I was talking about, is Raker is one of the best attackers on this Ball State team. You've seen Spadafora go to her a couple straight times now because of Kitchell and Filling's presence early on in this match.
Service error from Marissa Hine that time.
Wilson in off the bench to serve.
Hine only played 2 sets last night with 1 dig recorded. Laura Wilson in for the first time for Central Michigan to serve, and she puts it too far.
Central Michigan now has kind of fallen victim to what Ball State did in set number 1, and that's just having unforced errors. Put the ball in play, make the defense have to make a play on it, and that's something that the Chippewas have just failed to do here in set number 2.
Callie Mulford's attack blocked at the net from Alex Filling. Filling has done it all so far, kills and on the defensive end.
She's been tremendous, and she's been a front row and a back row player, both offensively and defensively. We've seen her attack a few times from the back row, and then also when she's back there, a nice job being able to dig out the Central Michigan attacks.
Another timeout from Teresa Beckman after Ball State. It seems to be going all their way as they have a 14-4 advantage here on senior night in set number 2. After they dropped set number 1, what's been the difference between set 1 and 2? It was so back and forth in set 1, but it's completely Ball State so far in set 2.
Well, I had mentioned a little bit ago at the beginning of set number 2, and it was just the errors, and that was what costed Ball State in the first set, as I think they would have been able to pull that one out if they wouldn't have caused so many errors from themselves. Here in set number 2, you haven't seen that at all. They've done a nice job. There's been 1 service error and maybe 1 attack error, but other than that, Ball State's done a nice job of putting the ball in the floor.
Out of the Shadows, Season 3, Episode 1 is premiering now. You can find it on ballstatesports.com, produced by Ball State Sports Link, executive producers Dylan Welch and Matt Organ. exclusive all-access men's basketball for the Ball State Cardinals, who unfortunately lost to Bradley last night, but it was a close game throughout, and just barely Bradley came out with a win. But big things expected from the men's basketball season, a lot better than what they've been in previous seasons.
Absolutely. It was a back-and-forth game. Ball State led most of the way in that one, just came up a little bit short with a 1-point loss. But like you said, a much better year headed the way for the Ball State Cardinals this year.
Hopkins in the middle. Robertson on the right side. It was blocked by Filling, and it hit the antenna, which gives Central Michigan the point.
The Chippewas come away with that point because of hitting the antenna, but I love the presence of the defense right now for Ball State. I had talked about at the beginning of the match, and I said that's something that Ball State failed to do yesterday, was have much presence at the net defensively, and you've seen multiple blocks already from the Cardinals tonight.
Hopkins' attack hits the top of the net. She was trying to go straight down.
So now out of the timeout, that's 2 straight points for Central Michigan, and Ball State, who had all the momentum in the world, up by 10. It's kind of shifted a little bit back to the Chippewas. They're still down by 8, but it's not quite as much Ball State right now.
Lindsay's attack blocked at the net from Jessica Mitri. As you said, the Chippewas putting together a bit of a run after the Beckman timeout.
Nice job there by Mitri going up, getting the solo block. Central Michigan didn't have a lot of presence defensively early. That must have been a change that Coach Beckman made during that last timeout.
Filling's attack blocked all the way over on the left side, and it lands out of bounds to the right side for the kill. It seems that Central Michigan has adjusted to put 2 blockers at the net every time Filling is on the outside.
And rightfully so. 8 kills on the night, which is tied for a team high. She's had a lot of success against this Central Michigan defense.
Mulford's attack in the middle hits off of Hopkins' hands and drops down. Filling and Hopkins were both there, but it hit off the right hand of Marissa Hine. Can't get it in the back row. Schreiner, not that great of a pass off the serve. And Sanchez just puts it right back over to the Cardinals' side, and Hopkins and Filling struggled to collect it.
It's now a 5-1 run for Central Michigan since that last timeout called. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Shondell, even though they still have a 6-point lead right now, call a timeout, get his girls focused more, and try to finish out set number 2.
Another block at the net. Central Michigan's defense has improved since that last timeout here in set 2. This time, Beater on the left side went through the hands of Jenna Spadafora. And I agree with you. I think that we will see a Steve Shondell timeout right here, as we do. The Cardinals had a 10-point lead, 14-4, and now their lead is only 5 at 15-10.
I think that's something we're going to see a lot more of right there. Sanchez going over on the far side and getting Beater a lot more involved. She's somebody who averages over 3 kills per set. She only has 4 right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sanchez continue to go back to her #1 option on her offense.
Ball State Sports Link is presenting this ESPN3 broadcast. All student production at Ball State University, and obviously has ties all over the country. Just a great organization for Ball State, and a lot of upcoming broadcasts for the season for Ball State Sports Link as well. A great opportunity for students getting an immersive learning production here at Ball State.
A great program here at Ball State at Sports Link. Over 60 national, state, local awards. I think you and I are just very fortunate to be here in this Sports Link program.
And that gives us this opportunity as well. Coming out of the timeout, 15-10. Ball State leads by 5, but Central Michigan has the momentum coming out of the Steve Shondell timeout. Spadafora, quick set to Filling, who gets it off of the hands of Callie Mulford.
team-leading 9th kill now already for Alex Filling to go along with 12 digs. So we're not even through set number 2, and she's just 1 kill away from going for a double-double on back-to-back nights.
Mackenzie Kitchell and Alex Filling's numbers almost identical. 8 kills, 3 errors on 21 attacks for Filling. For Mackenzie Kitchell. Filling the same exact numbers except just 1 more kill added. As Beater on the left side, Central Michigan seems like they've adjusted their offensive strategy to just go to their best player, Jordan Beater.
And she read the defense that time, did a nice job of going cross-court with it.
Kitchell's attack not dug out by Wolfus. Central Michigan won set number 1, 29-27. Ball State trying to respond here in set 2 on senior night. Angie White's first attack on the right side. Nicole Sanchez back to serve. A great back set from her on that last point. Spadafora tried to go to that back right corner. Angie White again up through the middle. We didn't see her at all in set number 1. She leads the team in blocks per set, showing she can do it offensively as well.
She's had a great set number 2 here as of late, and that's what happens when Central Michigan goes more to Beater, gets their number 1 offensive option involved. It opens it up for everybody else.
Filling from the back row. Robertson on the right side, just a great attack down the line. Looked like Amanda Raker and Mackenzie Kitchell thought it went outside of the antenna.
Right away, she pointed up at the head official saying it hit off the antenna. It was very close, but from our vantage point, it didn't look like it hit the antenna. I thought it was a great call.
Sanchez, great placement to the left side on the service ace.
A lot of times you see a service ace when it's a bad pass off of somebody's arm. That time, it was such a perfectly placed ball that nobody on Ball State even touched it.
And Teresa Beckman, as you see, very excited with how her team has responded after trailing 14-4 at one point in set number 2. They have since went on 11-3 run since that Teresa Beckman timeout, and it's forced Steve Shondell to take 2 timeouts of his own.
And that's been the biggest difference is Central Michigan, when they were trailing 14-4, called a timeout. They came out right away, responded, scored 3 straight points, went on a 5-1 run, forced Ball State to come out and take a timeout. And after that timeout, Ball State didn't respond well. You can see Central Michigan adding to their run, and it's down to a 2-point game after just being 14-4 a little bit ago.
Fans out here in Worthen Arena hoping for a Ball State Cardinals victory in set 2. (17-15), Ball State leads by 2. And Central Michigan, it's been all them since that timeout as the players huddling up on Ball State's side. Walking back out, we saw a lot of changes in set 3 last night when Ball State dropped 2 sets. If they would drop this one, you may see Steve Shondell do the same thing that he did last night. But, in my opinion, I think Ball State looks better than they did last night. That time, the attack on the left side by Kitchell.
Now 10 kills for Mackenzie Kitchell tonight. That's the 8th time this season where she's gone double-figure kills.
Sanchez set to the left side. Raker had to adjust. Great save on the Central Michigan side, and miscommunication between Raker and Spadafora gives Central Michigan the point.
Huge play that time by Angie White. She did a phenomenal job adjusting to a bad pass. Barely was able to tap it over the net. Just great instincts on her part. Ended up getting the point for the Chippewas.
Jordan Beater back to serve. Hard service, hit the top of the net. Mitri filling back row attack. She's been successful there so far tonight. And it hit the line in the back row. Jordan Beater's attack from the middle.
Great placement there from Beater as she pulled an Alex Filling coming up from the back row. Did a nice job of putting that right down the line.
Jessica Lindsay on the left side of the attack. Raker just pushes it right back down in the hands of Nicole Sanchez to give Ball State the point, and Ball State scrambling back a little bit. They lead by 2, but Central Michigan continues to have the momentum.
Ball State scores that point, but I agree completely with you in saying Central Michigan has all the momentum right now. If you're Ball State, you have to focus on getting this match closed out. You don't want to fall behind 2-0.
Spatafor into the middle to Raker. Now a scramble. Vasilakis puts it over. Vasilakis cannot reach that dig as Robertson just pushed it over the net.
Scramble mode there for the Cardinals as they were struggling on the possession before, and that time a great set from Sanchez right in the middle and a quick tap over the net from Robertson as she had to adjust and hit it over with her left hand.
Laura Wilson, last time she was in to serve for the Chippewas team, she had a service error. That one was good. Filling's attack can't be dug out in the back row.
Give Filling a double-double now. 10 kills, 13 digs. Second straight night where she's done that. And we're not even through set number 2 yet. Just does a fantastic job. A great set by Jenna Spatafor as it was going. A bad pass into the net. She adjusted and made a perfect set over to Alex Filling.
Set into the middle to Callie Mulford. She collects her 4th kill of the night for the Chippewas. At that middle blocker position, she still chips in some offense with 1.84 kills per set as Hopkins gets the kill on the Ball State side.
Hopkins really hasn't been involved a whole lot in the offense tonight. That was only her 2nd kill of the night. But again, Jenna Spatafor is really the one who made that play happen. It was a bad pass from the back row. She went into the net, was able to one-hand set it back to Hopkins, and Hopkins was able to go straight down the middle with it.
Teresa Beckman talking with the official. Spatafor sends a free ball over. Mitri's left-sided attack goes all the way to the right side of the Ball State defense and drops on the line.
Mitri really did a nice job of reading the Ball State defense that time. Only one blocker for Ball State, and Jenna Spatafor went to the net, and instead of trying to go down the line, she gets a great set from Sanchez, and she goes cross-court with it.
Only one blocker there, and it was Jenna Spatafor as Spatafor responds with the quick hit.
It's now the 6th kill of the night for Jenna Spatafor, and we've talked about it. She averages nearly 2 kills per set, which is phenomenal for a setter.
Alex Filling, a senior on this team, back to serve, and it's going to be a service ace as Jamie Wolfus, the libero for Central Michigan, had trouble with it.
As the 20th time this season where Alex Filling has an ace, does a nice job, and it comes at a crucial point for Ball State as they're only 2 points away from closing out the set.
Another ace from Filling. Haley Barker commits the reception error. 4 set points for the Cardinals to respond after trailing 1-0 through the match so far. Ball State has a point to tie it up. Into the net was the attack from Callie Mulford, and the Ball State Cardinals take set number 2 after trailing 1-0 through the match. the Cardinals tie it up at 1 apiece here on senior night in Worthen Arena. We'll be back for some halftime analysis after this. You're watching women's volleyball on ESPN3. Back in Worthen Arena, where the Ball State Cardinals respond after dropping set 1 to Central Michigan in a back and forth set 1, to say the least. 29-27 was that first score, and Ball State responds 25-20 in set number 2. And Ball State responds in set number 2. What happened, or what went differently in set number 2 for Ball State to get that victory?
Well, it was two things, and one was defensively. They did a good job of not committing too many errors, and then it was all about balance. And it's been a team that's had a great bit of balance all season long. You look down at the stat sheet, 10 kills from both Mackenzie Kitchell and Alex Filling. Those two have led the way, as they have all season long.
And it is senior night here in Worthen Arena. And we have an I Play For You produced by Ball State Sports Link's Logan Dubbs and JC Obringer on Ball State Women's Volleyball's own Jenna Spadafora.
As a senior, I've grown to learn that leadership is key. Without leadership, you may never know how far you can go. It's a guide for others, but it pushes you. You're the first to practice and last one to leave. I was destined to be a leader, to represent my team, the Cardinal in white. But most importantly, myself. My name is Jenna Spadafora, and I play for you.
Back here in Worthen Arena, Central Michigan took set number 1 from the Cardinals on senior night, but the Ball State Cardinals responded in set number 2, 25-20. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more halftime analysis and stats for you here, women's volleyball on ESPN3. Welcome back in Worthen Arena, where the Cardinals and the Chippewas are all tied up at 1 set apiece in this match on senior night here in Worthen Arena. Hello, everyone. Once again, I'm Corey Stace alongside Noah Reed, and getting into some stats for the Ball State Cardinals and the Chippewas. You saw what happened on the floor, and the Chippewas got out to an early start, winning set number 1, but then the Cardinals responded. What are some stats that stand out to you through these first 2 sets? Well,
it's a very similar game, and we're tied up at 1 apiece, and there's a reason. Look at Ball State and Central Michigan kills 34-30, and that hitting percentage couldn't be much more alike. 232 for Ball State, 227, for Central Michigan. It's been a back and forth match, and I'm sure we're going to see that continue all the way through tonight.
In set number 1, it was very back and forth. 15 ties, 8 lead changes. In set number 2 was a little bit different. Only 1 tie in that set, where Ball State mainly controlled it. Ball State's Mackenzie Kitchell, she has 10 kills through the first 2 sets. Alex Filling, another important piece for the Ball State Cardinals on both the offensive and defensive end. And it's been Jordan Beater who's been getting it done for Central Michigan. When we come back, we'll have set number 3. Welcome back to Worthen Arena. 1 set apiece here on senior night as we get ready to start set number 3. Alex Filling will start it off for the Ball State Cardinals. He had a good first 2 sets with 10 kills. This time Jordan Beater adds her 7th kill of the match in the first point in set 3.
Great strategy for the Chippewas, coming out right away and going to your #1 option on offense. They get the starting going early in the 3rd set, trying to get some momentum heading into this one.
Hopkins in the middle, her attack too long. Hopkins, puzzled look. She didn't think that one was out. And we'll be the judge of that. Beater on the left side, tip, blocked by Spadafora, and a great quick hit by Nicole Sanchez. Pulled one out of Jenna Spadafora's playbook and sent it to the back right corner.
Tremendous job. Spadafora did a great job on the defensive side, was able to block that one back to the other side, but Sanchez found the back right corner where Alex Filling tried to hustle it down, but couldn't make it over in time.
Hopkins attack again, too long. 4 quick points for Central Michigan.
Wolfus still serving.
Kitchell on the left side.
Off the excellent pass.
Blocked by Sanchez, but out of bounds, point Cardinals.
Really like Spadafora there, going back to Kitchell. After a couple errors in a row, Central Michigan gets ahead 4-0. They have all the momentum going their way. Spadafora goes back to Kitchell, who's been really the catalyst for this Ball State offense over the past couple weeks, and she's able to get the kill.
Mackenzie Kitchell and Alex Filling definitely sharing success for that Cardinals offense tonight. Beautiful touch by Sanchez, but the Cardinals sniffed it out. Spadafora comes right back with the left hand, and Angie White was at the net but couldn't handle it.
Huge play there for the Cardinals. A nice job by Amanda Raker being able to hustle that ball down on the quick tap by Sanchez, and then the set from Spadafora right over the net, finds a spot where the Central Michigan defense wasn't.
Service ace for the Ball State Cardinals from Carly Capello, the freshman.
And this is the first time all night we've seen Capello, so a great job on her part, coming off the bench right away, getting a service ace, providing a boost for this Ball State team.
Beater has to adjust on the left side. Wolfus with the set over to Beater. A lot of action right near the net. Kitchell's attack blocked by Sanchez, but it travels out of bounds, and the Ball State Cardinals, after trailing 4-0, have come back to tie it at 4 apiece.
The 12th kill of the night now for Mackenzie Kitchell. She gets a great set from Spadafora. It's blocked at the net, but goes out of bounds. Nice job by Kitchell.
Beater, hard attack on the left side with the right hand.
Beater really does it all for this Central Michigan offense, but here as of late at the end of set number 2 and here at the beginning of the 3rd set, they've continued to go to her, let her make the plays for the Central Michigan offense, and she's been coming through for the Chippewas.
Sanchez has had her own success back serving, as it's her 17th service ace of the season.
Nicole Sanchez serving still.
Spadafora back set to the right side to Raker, and put right back down from Angie White.
White sends it down.
Not much you can do right there if you're the Ball State defense. Just was a hustle attempt by the Cardinals, went right over the net, and White was right there to be able to tip it right past the front line of the Ball State defense.
It's been a set 3 of runs. 4 straight points for Central Michigan to start, then 4 for the Cardinals. And Central Michigan responds with 3 of their own, but Ball State gets one back as Raker put it to the right side.
Great hustle play there by Beater for Central Michigan, but that was a big point for Ball State to get because they went on a run of their own, but Central Michigan was able to stop it and respond with their own. That point for Ball State brings it back within 2 and kind of halts the momentum of the Chippewas.
Spadafora, a great server for this Cardinals team, but went wide left.
Jessica Mike Tree back in. And now serving Jordan Beater for CMU.
24 aces in the season for Jenna Spadafora. Usually not something you see is Spadafora coming away with an error.
Beater, hard service as we've seen all night. Angie White in the middle, and it hit the back line. The head judge motions that it was tipped at the net as well. Looks like Raker may have gotten a hand on it. This time Beater, service wide left and a little long. The thing with hard servers, and you see this a lot in men's volleyball with a lot of men serving it just all power. Beater, 41 service aces coming into tonight, but also 58 service errors, which leads the team in both categories. This time Robertson on the right side with the nice kill.
It's the 9th kill of the night now for Robertson, and she kind of disappeared in that second set. In the first set, she was the go-to for Sanchez. She came away with a lot of kills, and she kind of disappeared in that second set. But here in the third set, they're getting her going early. She was able to go cross-court just out of the reach of Marissa Hine.
Laura Wilson has a nice, powerful serve as well, but it's Raker with the powerful attack on the right side.
And Raker has really come to her own here for this Ball State offense over the last set and a half. Does a nice job right here, gets it past the defense to the back row, but now 7 kills on the night for her after struggling in the first set.
Mitri, left side of the attack. Mitri's been impressive with the power she brings behind that right-handed swing, but she just doesn't see as much attacks as the top players like Beater and Robertson.
And Mitri's coming off of a night last night against Toledo where she had 11 kills, which was her career high, so she's playing her best ball at the right time as we're heading into the MAC tournament.
Spada for a set in the middle. Kelly Hopkins shows she has power of her own, but Central Michigan dug it up. Great dig by Marissa Hine. Joust at the net, and Sanchez wins it over Hopkins as she put it into the right arm of Emily Holland.
Chippewas have gone on a run here, but I wouldn't expect head coach Steve Shondell to be calling a timeout soon because we're 3 points away from the media timeout, hoping that his girls can probably come away with it and focus themselves before the media timeout.
Mitri on the left side, tips it into the double block. 2 players trying to attack on the left side there as Hopkins comes up from the middle for the Cardinals.
Hopkins herself does a nice job there of calming down. She committed 2 errors very early in this third set. Wasn't having the best offensive night. She does a nice job coming up from the middle and putting it straight down the middle for her 3rd kill tonight.
Lauren Schreiner, the freshman, checking back in for the Cardinals to serve. Spada for the quick hit tonight. Central Michigan's been able to sniff it out a few more times than normal, and it's Alex Filling on the left side. Jamie Wolfus, the libero, cannot dig it out on the left side.
14 kills now tonight for Alex Filling, creeping up on her season high of 18, which was set in the season opener back on August 29th against Albany.
Lauren Schreiner, the defensive specialist. That attack percentage would be the best out of the whole team, but she only has 1 kill on the year, which is the reason for her high attacking percentage. Not many attacks on the season. I believe it's 1 kill, 0 errors, and 3 attacks. Lauren Schreiner, that time, lets the Hildebrand serve sail long.
Smart play there by Schreiner because it looked like she was going to go after it at the very last second, pulled her arms away. Another error for Central Michigan. That's really the reason why the Ball State Cardinals are still in this third set.
Jordan Beater can't handle it with the left hand after Haley Barker had trouble handling the serve. Alex Fillings had success back at the serving line for the Cardinals tonight. The top attacker on the team, averaging 2.58 kills per set on a balanced Cardinals offense as Beater collects another kill on the left side.
And Beater has really emerged herself as the #1 go-to tonight. And Ball State defense should be able to start keying in on that because it's been time after time of going back to Beater. They need to be able to get that, realize that, and attack her with multiple blockers.
Wolfus service ace. Alex Filling can't handle it. 15-11. Central Michigan with the 4-point advantage in set number 3. Welcome back in Worthen Arena on senior night here on after a beautiful November day. Today on the campus of Ball State University, 15-11. Central Michigan with the 4-point advantage out of the media timeout. Left side is Beater. Schreiner able to save it for the Cardinals. Great scramble, and Spatafora puts it over. Great hustle, the fans love it, and the Cardinals end up with the point on the Angie White attack error.
Huge possession by the freshman Lauren Schreiner 2 times in a row. A diving dig, she kept the ball in play twice in a row, and then Ball State able to come away with that point out of the timeout. Huge for the Cardinals.
And it seems like when you have those type of defensive efforts, even if it gives the other team an advantage, it always comes back and helps you out in the end. And that definitely happened on that point. Spatafora, quick hit. We've talked about not as effective tonight, and it was Sanchez who put it over for the Chippewas. Teresa Beckman has to love it, the associate head coach for the Central Michigan team.
Miscommunication there for the Cardinals. Lauren Schreiner did a nice job in the back row keeping that ball alive. Jenna Spatafora just wasn't able to get to it, hoping that Carly Capello did, but she stopped in her tracks. Miscommunication between the two.
You see the situation there also. It looked like Sanchez wasn't going to be able to set it with it being so far into the net, so she just went with the quick hit instead. Another point for Central Michigan adds to their lead, which is now 5. Spatafora set to the left side to Kitchell. Pass not handled. Raker tried to put it in a vacant area. And it is a Central Michigan player into the net. I believe they called it on Angie White.
It was big for Ball State to get that point right there. They stopped Central Michigan's run. They've pulled within 4, and now with Jenna Spatafora, your best server for the Cardinals, a chance to go on a run.
Robertson left side, down the line. She thought it was tipped at the net. The head judge says no, and the point awarded to Ball State. Spatafora, often a catalyst for many runs, back serving for the Cardinals. Kitchell able to block it over back to Central Michigan. Holland on the right side, the middle blocker, almost serving as an outside hitter on that play, but nonetheless gets the kill.
And that time it wasn't your traditional set from Spatafora. It came a bump pass from Vasilakis, and that time Holland just had to finesse it over. Didn't come with a heart attack. Does a nice job of putting it just past the blocker's hands.
Spatafora, shallow serve. Beater's attack wide right and too long. 4 straight points for the Ball State Cardinals.
We talked about the Cardinals putting multiple blockers on Beater. They've done that recently, and that's now 2 straight attack errors for her, and it's all because of the presence of the Cardinal defense up at the net.
Back set to White, who sends it right down the line.
But with that being said, that's what happens when you have Beater and Robertson, your 2 best attackers on the left side. The Ball State defense comes to the left side, a back set behind her head, and that left nobody able to block the Angie White attack.
We didn't see Angie White until the second set, as Jordan Beater has the service error. And Angie White has only played 79 sets this season out of 112. She played and started in 27 matches last year. They only played 28 as a team, but her play's been a little more inconsistent this season. But she's playing well tonight against the Cardinals. Double contact on Jenna Spadafora. Gives another point to the Chippewas. Laura Wilson checks in for Central Michigan to serve. Teresa Beckman likes to go to her. So far in the match, Alex Filling, a big block on the right side by Taylor Robertson.
It's only the first block of the night for Robertson. She doesn't have much of a presence on defense, more of an offensive-minded player, but does a great job going up and getting the solo block on Filling.
Filling pushes this one over. Beater with the set, but it's blocked at the net by Filling. She gives one right back to Central Michigan.
Returning the favor does Filling on that possession. A great attack from Robertson, but Filling was right there at the net. Great set from Sanchez. Robertson went up for it, but right there was Filling and Raker, and it creeped just inside the out-of-bounds line.
Hard attack in the middle from Mulford. But the Cardinals able to collect it, and Hopkins, that free ball over, went right back on the left line for the Cardinals' point.
Incredible placement there, as the Central Michigan had 3 defenders standing right there, and they thought it was going out of bounds, so it dropped right in front of him, right on the black line.
Teresa Beckman just dropped to her knees on that one, just looking at it. Big block, but it landed on the Cardinals' side. Mitri with the kill.
Mitri, as a freshman last year, didn't get a whole lot of time for this Chippewas team, but here in the second half of her sophomore season has come on strong. She had 6 kills against Ball State the last time they met, coming off of 11 kills last night and already 6 in this match.
She's been very impressive tonight as Spadafora sent it too long for Kelly Hopkins on the left side. Jessica Mitri, a player out of Brookfield Central High School in Brookfield, Wisconsin, had a hitting percentage of .383 her senior year. Filling on the left side puts it into the blocker's hands for the Cardinals.
It's only the second kill of this set for Alex Filling. Spadafora did a great job in the first 2 sets of getting one of her best attackers involved in the offense. But here in set number 3, they've kind of gone away from her. Continue to go back to her because she's been on fire as of late.
Sanchez, quick tap over. Great hustle from Spadafora, the center, to save it for the Cardinals. Another quick hit from Sanchez. Mitri on the left side, she'll finish it with the hard right-handed swing.
And it's really surprising right now to see Central Michigan go on this run because they have either Beater or Robertson on the floor right now, the 2 best attackers. Their number 3rd option has been Mitri all night long. She goes cross court, and Katie Vasilakis not able to reach it.
3-point lead for Central Michigan. Beater on the left side hit Spadafora at the net and dropped right down.
That's just something you can't do if you're the Ball State defense. Beater, who's 5th in the MAC in kills at over 3.5 kills per set, and you can't just send one blocker to her. Spadafora got there late, and so virtually it was like nobody was there, and that's just not going to work out well for the Cardinals with Beater attacking.
And Steve Shondell takes the timeout. 24-20, Central Michigan leads by 4. It is senior night here in Worthen Arena. One of those seniors is maybe the most pivotal and versatile player on this team is Jenna Spadafora, who you see 151 kills. That includes 7 last night, which placed her first among NCAA setters in total kills for the season. That includes 6 rotation setters that only play at that setter position, but still huge accomplishment.
And she adds 7 more tonight to go to 158 on that total. A tremendous season from her, back-to-back years where she has over 1,000 assists as she went over the 1,000 mark last weekend.
And the Cardinals definitely don't want to see her go, as she's been such an important piece to this Ball State team the past few years. Right now on the roster, the person in line to replace her next season is McCollin Kennedy. a sophomore on this team out of Florida.
Steve Shondell is a mastermind. You think he can figure out a way to give Jenna Spadafora a 5th year of eligibility?
I'm sure he's already tried as Beater. Rather, Mulford puts it to the right side of the Ball State defense for the final point. 25-20, Central Michigan. A 5-point third set win. 2-1 is the match. We'll have set number 4 action for you when we come back. Welcome back to Worthen Arena, where we have the same situation as last night, and the Cardinals trail 2-1, leading into a set number 4. The only difference is it's senior night here in Worthen Arena. Taking a look back on some set 3 highlights.
The Cardinals got down 4-0 early, did a nice job of battling back, but it was just too much of Central Michigan attacking. Great attack from Hopkins right here, but too little too late for the Ball State Cardinals as they eventually fell 25-20 in set number 3.
And Central Michigan will look to continue their play from set 3. And after a set 1 where we thought this is going to be one of those matches that it's just back and forth, the past 2 sets have been largely different. Ball State got out to a very early lead in set 2, only 1 tie score in that match. Same thing with Central Michigan in set 3. They got off to an early lead, only 1 tie score, and they ended up pulling it out. But set 1, we thought this was going to be a classic because it was 15 tie scores and 8 lead changes.
Set number 1 was back and forth, ended up being 29-27 at the finish. And then, like you said, it was a little bit of less back and forth, but even halfway through sets number 2 and 3, it was close. It was back and forth a little bit, and then Ball State in set number 2, Central Michigan in set number 3, they were able to stretch out that lead a little bit, go on a couple separate runs, and eventually that was the difference in both of those matches.
The Ball State Cardinals don't need to win this match to get in the Mid-American Conference Tournament. They're already in, but it would help their seeding as Emily Holland gets the kill.
Not only would it help the Ball State seeding, but if you lose tonight again, the Cardinals, that would be 4 in a row, and that's not something you want going into your conference tournament, dropping 4 straight matches.
And Steve Shondell and players talked about it this week at practice, that it's really just all about momentum going into the Mid-American Conference Tournament. And as you said, 2 straight losses make it 4 with the road trip included from last weekend. It would not bode well for their confidence going in, as Jenna Spadafora with the quick hit to put the Cardinals up to an early 2-0 lead. Alex Filling back to serve for the Cardinals. Bad pass off the serve. Kitchell on the left side. Scramble for the ball. It looks like they've collected it, and Haley Barker, great defensive effort. Kitchell right into the hands of Callie Mulford for Central Michigan, and Kitchell with another kill to add to her total, which is now 13.
I like how Spadafora continued to go to Kitchell on that possession, went to her 3 different times, and she was kind of non-existent in the second half of set number 3. Get her going a little bit more. A team-high 13 kills now for her.
Double contact from Nicole Sanchez gives the Cardinals another point. We saw the same thing in set 3. Central Michigan got off to an early 4-0 lead. The Cardinals then came back and scored 4 of their own. We'll have to see if the same fortune comes about for Central Michigan. Miscommunication on the set. Mulford's set attack is blocked. Mulford getting a lot of action in the middle on this point, and Kitchell sends it wide right on the left-sided attack.
Kitchell was expecting blockers for Central Michigan to be there at the net, so she put a little bit of extra on it, but nobody from the Chippewas defense went up to the net, so too much on it from Kitchell, and it sailed out of bounds. Wolfis, the libero, to serve for Central Michigan.
Kitchell just pushes it down the line for the kill.
Great placement there from Kitchell, as it was a little bit of a scurry for the Ball State offense. Jenna Spadafora had no other option but to set it to Kitchell as she was running that way, almost fell down, got it to Kitchell, and Kitchell with a finesse kill down the line.
And when you hear the name Kitchell in Indiana, probably a lot of people's ears perk up and say, oh, Ted Kitchell? And it is. It's Mackenzie Kitchell's father, Ted Kitchell, who played at Indiana, was an All-American there, won a national championship, very successful, and Mackenzie Kitchell has a great athletic career of her own.
I believe he was also a part of one of the undefeated teams for IU.
Alex Filling, back row attack. Beater on the left side. Ball State a lot better digging the ball in the back row to start off set number 4, and Angie White just puts it in the back left corner, and Alex Filling was too far away to get to it.
The Cardinals really left Alex Filling to hang on that one. There was 5 people up in the front row for the Cardinals, and it was Alex Filling in the back row by herself trying to take care of it. She was on the right side. It was put down the left side, and she had no chance to get to it.
Kitchell on the left side. Spadafora double into the net. Was not double contact. Same difference, though, as Central Michigan gets the point. Sanchez once again to serve. Amanda Raker on the right side. Robertson just tips it. Nice play in the back row from Filling. Angie White in the middle. Lauren Schreiner saves it, and it cannot be collected after that.
Great hustle there from the Cardinals, but they were kind of back on their heels the entire possession there as Central Michigan had multiple attacks, whereas Ball State just kept sending free balls over the net. A great quick set to White, and she put it right off of Schreiner.
Spadafora, a quick tap with the left hand. Set up a joust at the net now from Beater and Spadafora, and Beater went into the net, which gives the Cardinals a point. As Brooklyn Goodsell checks into the match for the first time tonight for the Cardinals. Maybe one of those changes that we talked about if the Cardinals start to struggle at all.
Well, yesterday when that happened, Ball State fell down 2-0. Coach Shondell made a whole lot of changes, and it helped the Cardinals. They won set number 3, eventually fell 3-1, but the changes in the Ball State lineup is what really helped them, propel them to win set number 3.
Raker in the middle. Beater on the left side. It looks like Ball State has figured something out with Beater's attacks. Vasilakis, nice bump set to the back row. A hard attack from Filling. A very good back and forth here. Kitchell's attack into the blockers. Angie White's attack saved, and it travels out of bounds. Brooklyn Goodsell, nice effort, but Alex Filling wasn't able to put it in bounds for the Cardinals.
That was a great effort on both teams, went back and forth, a good rally, and Central Michigan ends up getting the best of it.
And always with those rallies, there's the momentum that comes with it. And Central Michigan trails by 2 at the moment, but looking to close off the Cardinals in 4 sets. The Cardinals have not lost a 5-set match this season at home. As that service ace for Jordan Beater just adds to her total. She is a top 50 server in the nation with just under 0.4 aces per set. But that's a thing that comes with it, is service errors right into the middle of the net. And we talked about it earlier, just that hard serve. It's hard to get it over the net a lot of times.
Well, it's so close to the net each time, so when it does go over the net, it gives her a good possibility of having an ace. But also you see it there now, 61 service errors on the year for Beater.
It's almost a give and take there as Angie White with the cross-court attack.
And Ball State got out 4-0 early, but Central Michigan has done a nice job recollecting themselves. They're only down 1, 8-7. A great back set White had to adjust to it a little bit, go back, but she was able to go cross court, and Spadafora couldn't catch up to it.
On that replay, it looked like Bailey Bomber was in position to possibly dig it out in the back row, but Spadafora hit it before Bomber could get to it. A service error gives the Cardinals another point. And Katie Vasilakis has put herself into the 8th all-time in Ball State history for career digs. After tonight, she needed 8 coming into tonight. As Filling just pushes it to the left side of the Central Michigan defense. Katie Vasilakis with 21 digs on the night. Beater comes up from the middle and puts it to the left side.
Just not much you can do there if you're the Ball State defense. Beater does a nice job coming up from the back row. Does a great job. She attacks from the middle and puts it right past Bomber.
Haley Barker back to serve for Central Michigan. Emily Holland from the middle. And Mitri just had to try something with the left hand and put it outside of the antenna for out of bounds.
It's now the 8th kill for Amanda Raker, so she's done a nice job after struggling in set number 1, wasn't getting very many kills on her attacks, but here as of late in the last 3 sets has really recomposed herself.
Mulford in the middle, a hard attack, and Bailey Bomber can't dig it out.
Great quick set from Sanchez, gave it to Mulford, and Bailey Bomber not able to get to it.
2 blockers were there for the Cardinals. Mulford again in the middle. Bailey Bomber, a back row attack, and it sails wide right. Bailey Bomber, we talked about it yesterday in the match against Eastern Michigan. Her role has changed a lot this season. At the start of the season, Mackenzie Kitchell was out. Alex Filling has been out for points in the season with injury. Bailey Bomber was the person to step in for those 2 girls and produced as an outside hitter, but Steve Shondell has leaned towards others as the season has gone on, and Bailey Bomber has become more of a defensive specialist opposed to an outside hitter, as you see Filling with the great attack on the left side.
And at the beginning of the year, Bailey Bomber really made herself the 1B option for Ball State. Alex Filling was having a tremendous start to the season, but Bailey Bomber in her own right had 15 kills to start the season against Albany, but as you said, transitioned more into a back row player now.
Spadafora looked like she set it up just for anyone. No one was there to receive it. Filling great cover after the block. Jenna Spadafora with the great block, but it is into the net. Confusion on the Ball State side. Steve Shondell doesn't even like it. And Steve Shondell usually isn't one to go up to an official either.
I was just going to say, very rarely do you see Steve Shondell go up to a referee and argue a call, but you did see that there. And Spadafora may have been in the net there. I think I might agree with that call. She did get into it, made the net move a little bit.
And a timeout taken on the floor, which means we're going to take a timeout as well. All tied at 12 in set number 4. We'll have more set action for you when we come back on ESPN3. Welcome back, all tied at 12 in set 4 action. Emily Holland on the right side. Spadafora with the quick hit over. And you saw it there right into the middle of the Central Michigan defense where no defenders were.
She did a great job of reading the defense. The defense was back for Central Michigan, anticipating a set and an attack, but instead the heart of the defense, there was nobody there. Spadafora reads it well, tips it over with the left hand.
Beater on the left side, had to adjust and send it too far to the right. Carly Capello for the Cardinals wisely let it go.
Ball State's had trouble tonight coming out of timeouts, responding well, but here in this timeout, 2 straight points. It was a tie game, but the momentum is back to them at 14-12.
Capello serving for the Cardinals. Angie White in the middle. A very quick set and a hard attack.
How about the difference that she has made here in the last 3 sets? We mentioned we hadn't seen her at all in the first set, but she has come out of nowhere. A middle attack, gets it past 2 Ball State defenders to halt the momentum for Ball State.
Sanchez clapped before the ball even hit the floor. She knew it was a kill. Kitchell on the left side. Great block at the net from Kitchell as well. Beater has to send a free ball. Great hustle. Another block at the net for the Cardinals. This time it was Amanda Raker.
And that was the exact same set from Sanchez to White, and that's the problem with the quick set, is it's so low trying to get it quickly that the ball is just above the net, and it gives the defense the advantage right there as we see Raker able to block it down.
Jenna Spadafora back to serve for the Cardinals. Has to hustle up into position to set as well. Bomber, great dig in the back row. Beater on the left side, blocked at the net, but traveled out of bounds. It was off of Brooklyn Goodsell.
Goodsell was just a little bit late getting over there, so the angle of when she blocked it forced it to go out of bounds. She really didn't have a chance at that one at all.
Jordan Beater back to serve. It can be good and bad. This time it was good as Vasilakis receives it. Brooklyn Goodsell on the left side with the kill. Her first of the night.
A nice job by Goodsell. She gets a great set from Spadafora, goes cross court with it. Didn't try to go too hard, more of a finesse attack, and she put it right in between the front row and the back row of the Chippewas.
Goodsell, her role has diminished a little bit as the season went on, but definitely has the talent and potential. Was an AVCA first-team All-American coming out of high school. As another point down the line for the Cardinals, and it was their leader, Alex Filling.
Filling does a great job on this one, goes down the line with it. She is now 13 matches this year where she has double-double kills.
Goodsell blocks the attack at the net. They give the point to Ball State. I believe they said it hit the line on the right side. Teresa Beckman getting an explanation from the official right now.
This run is exactly what Ball State needs. They now go ahead by 4 points. If they can be able to close out set number 4, it gives them the momentum heading into the 5th set.
18-15 now after that attack. Ball State Cardinals, we've talked about the tournament implications. If they win, they cement themselves as the 6th seed. They will play next Thursday. And also, they have a chance to knock Central Michigan out of the tournament if they win as well. Alex Filling, great attack on the left side.
Now 16 kills for Alex Filling, and you can really tell with the match on the line, Jenna Spadafora has continued to go to her time after time, and why not if the Central Michigan defense can't figure her out?
Katie Vasilakis has stayed at that libero position all night, although we saw Lauren Schreiner put on the libero jersey last night. The attack on the left side sails wide left. And a timeout for Teresa Beckman, the associate head coach for this Central Michigan Chippewas team. 5 points for the Cardinals, 20-15. The Cardinals lead here in set 4. Central Michigan in a different situation than the Cardinals. It's win and get in. But if they lose, they need some help. They need Eastern Michigan to lose at Toledo, which currently Eastern Michigan is ahead in that match 2-1, but Toledo is leading in set 4, 22-16.
And if you're Central Michigan, don't even worry about that match, because you know, we've said it all night, win and you're in. Take care of what you can control, take advantage of what you can take advantage of, and they've done that tonight. They're ahead 2-1.
And how important is it for the Ball State Cardinals to get that 6th seed if they win tonight?
Well, it's huge, and not necessarily just because the 6th seed is better than the 7th and 8th seed. Obviously it is, but right now you've lost 3 straight matches. You don't want to drop 4 in a row going into a tournament because obviously your confidence isn't going to be as high. But obviously you want to be the 6th seed, you play the 7th seed instead. If you're the 8th seed, you'd be playing the 5th seed. So it's all about playing a team who's lesser than you.
And you see Eastern Michigan on the outside looking in, but that could change tonight depending on the match in Toledo, Ohio, and the match here. Mitri on the left sided tip. Filling, blocked, but it travels out of bounds off of Mulford's hands.
Cardinals playing their best ball tonight at the right time. They lead by 6, which is the biggest of the set so far. They're on the verge of forcing a set number 5.
And the Cardinals have been good in 5 sets this season, 5 and 4, but also undefeated here at home in the 5th set. As that service error from Katie Vasilakis cuts the lead to 5. Filling on the left side. Cross court for the kill.
Central Michigan just cannot figure out Alex Filling right now. 18 kills on the night, which is tied her season high that was set all the way back in the season opener against Albany. Gets a great set from Spadafora, tipped off the hands of the blockers, and nobody was able to reach it.
Mulford in the middle, right off of the hands of Emily Holland.
And if you're Central Michigan right now, you're down 5 points, but you want to do your absolute best you can right now to come closer to Ball State and try to finish it off in 4 sets, because you just talked about a little bit ago, Ball State's undefeated in the 5th set. They're 9-2 at home this year. They feed off of this Worthington Arena crowd.
And Emily Holland from the middle to the left side. Ball State coming closer to winning set 4. 23-17. Alex Filling, who's had success tonight, back serving. Off of the head on the block at the net. This time it's a double hit from Callie Mulford in the middle. And fans in Worthington Arena arise to their feet as the Ball State Cardinals have 7 set points here in set 4. Sanchez cross set to Beater, who puts it right down on the right side. 24-18. Still 6 set points for the Cardinals to put this away. Beater's attack on the left side blocked, but it traveled out of bounds. Worthington Arena fans don't mind dancing one more time.
Beater has
another set point.
Beater has really come out of nowhere, struggled in set number 1, only had 2 kills at the end of that set, but now 16 on the night for the number 1 option for the Central Michigan team.
Alex Filling from the back row, tough to pull off in the back, and Emily Holland puts set 4 away. 25-19, the Ball State Cardinals take set 4 and force a set 5 here in front of their home fans on senior night here in Worthington Arena. After this, we'll have set 5 action for you from Worthington Arena. You're watching ESPN3. Welcome back in Worthington Arena, where we have set 5 action for you coming here on senior night on the last match of the regular season. Central Michigan definitely staying loose in that timeout, dancing over on their side. And that's one thing, actually, we saw in the pregame as well. Teresa Beckman wanted this group to completely stay loose. She said they were too tight last night, and she believes that's why they had so many errors and lost at Toledo.
Yeah, and some people would kind of argue what they were doing because they were very loose. They were messing around with each other before the match, and it was kind of confusing because it was a win. And you win and you're in. If you lose, you may not get in. And it was like they weren't taking this match seriously, but you can tell from last night they lost to a Toledo team who had only won 2 matches previous to that. So they come in tonight, they're loose, they're not uptight, and it's paid off for them. They played extremely well inside Worthen Arena tonight.
And that's some tactics. And I know in middle school, on my soccer team, we played flag football before a big sectional game. So
in high school, we played the team that was ranked in the top 10 in the state, and we watched a movie the day before the game. So there's tactics to it, I guess.
It's coaching tactics, staying loose, and Teresa Beckman obviously wanted Central Michigan to stay loose tonight. And watching the timeout, she wants them to continue to stay loose in set number 5. Definitely seems like a coach that likes to mix it up a little bit and isn't afraid to take some of those coaching risks to get her players ready. And just judging from pregame, it seems like all the players respect and really love to play for her as well.
Yeah, absolutely. She's only been on the coach of this team for 11 matches, but they've really responded well to her.
Alex Filling starts off set 5 for the Cardinals. Alex Filling from the back row, a tough attack, but Central Michigan saves it. Very good defense. Emily Holland had no blocker at the net there, and she puts it right into the middle. Ball State starting off set 5 right, and as you see, just no blocker there, and tough to dig out in the back row. Sanchez has to run to the left side to get the bump set off, but Mitri puts it home.
Great hustle by Sanchez on that play, and Mitri did a nice job of being calm and taking that bump set, and she was able to put it down, cross kill on the right side.
Hildebrand in to serve for Central Michigan. Emily Holland again on the right side. Great dig in the back row. It went into the net. Sanchez tried to collect it after that, but Ball State results with the point. Some confusion on the substitution, I believe, over on the Ball State side. Now we're gonna have more. Bailey Baumer checks in for Emily Holland. And you definitely don't want a substitution penalty or anything to give Central Michigan a point, so have to get that right. Do the Cardinals. Kitchell puts it right to the left side after a bad pass off the serve.
Kitchell has really been overshadowed by Alex Filling tonight, and rightfully so. 18 kills, 20 digs, and a tremendous performance by Filling, the senior. But Kitchell, 15 kills on the night, been a stud in her own right.
Kitchell with the block on the left side gives the Cardinals a 3-point lead. Timeout taken by Central Michigan, and the Ball State Cardinals start off set number 5 right here on senior night as the fans arise to their feet in applause. We'll have more set number 5 action for you when we come back. It should be a great finish here in Worthen Arena on ESPN3. Welcome back to Worthen Arena. The first point after the timeout as Kitchell, 3 straight points for Mackenzie Kitchell and the Cardinals.
We talked about a little bit ago, if you were Central Michigan, the last thing you wanted was a 5th set, especially after Ball State comes away winning the 4th set in dramatic fashion. The crowd's behind them, they're feeding off the energy, and it's shown as Ball State gets ahead to an early lead.
Beater, a hard attack on the left side. Cuts the Cardinals lead to 3. Mid-American tournament implications on the line for both teams. For Ball State, they're already locked in, but if they win, they get the 6th seed in the Mid-American Conference Tournament and get some momentum after a one-match win. As a block at the net from Sanchez, they tried to continue to go to Kitchell.
That was a big play for Central Michigan to get that point. It's halted the momentum here for Ball State. Kitchell gets a good set from Spadafora, goes up, but 2 blockers at the net for Central Michigan, and they put it right back down on the Ball State side.
Right back to Kitchell, and deservingly so with the cross-court kill. For Central Michigan, the implications are even higher. If they win, they're in. If they do not win, they would need Eastern Michigan to lose at Toledo. That match is currently in 5 sets. 4-3, Toledo is winning that one as Spadafora with the service error into the net.
Sounds like about as good of a match as we've got going on here inside Worthen Arena.
Nicole Sanchez, the setter out of Puerto Rico, back to serve. First year on this Central Michigan team. Good sell in the middle, dug out by Wolfus. Good sell, finesse attack on the right side, just over the 2 blockers.
She did a great job reading the defense there. Central Michigan sent 2 blockers to the net. She was able to tap it right over him, but nobody was behind him as the back row was way back, expecting a hard attack.
Great touch on that attack. Beater on the right side went right into the middle of the Cardinals defense to cut the lead to 2.
Ball State went on a little bit of a run at the beginning of set number 5, but since then it's been back and forth. And this set right here and the match will all be dependent on who goes on a big run at the end.
Filling on the left side, down the line, and it bounces on the line, which is in. 2 blockers were present for Central Michigan, but neither could get a hand on it as the players switch sides of the court as the Ball State Cardinals have reached the 8-point mark.
Nice job by Filling there. She goes just past the defender, goes down the line. 19 kills for her, and she's only 1 kill away from a 2020 performance. 19 kills, 21 digs right now for the senior out of Belmont High School.
She also has a new season high. Ironically, in the last match of the season, she had 18 kills versus Albany way back at the beginning of the season, and now has 19 tonight. A great soft service from Vasilakis for the service ace.
And when your Central Michigan, it was a soft serve from Katie Vasilakis. You had all the time in the world to be able to react to it, but when it's like that, it's so much harder for the defense to react than it is with a hard serve, and nobody for Central Michigan went after it. A huge service ace for Ball State puts them up by 4.
9-5, Ball State leads by 4. Mackenzie Kitchell and Alex Filling, both with season highs in kills tonight on senior night. And they're just hoping for a win. I bet they don't care about the kills, but in this 5th set, and it's beginning to feel like if Central Michigan loses, it may be out of the Mid-American Conference Tournament. Eastern Michigan currently in the 5th set, 6-5. They're leading over Toledo. Obviously, Central Michigan on the floor right now doesn't know that, but you'd have to think that they're feeling the pressure of win and get in and don't even worry about that match in Toledo.
No, that's exactly it, Corey. At this point, if you're Central Michigan, you can't be paying attention to what Eastern Michigan's doing. You can't pay attention to anybody else because you can control your fate. If you win, you're in the tournament. It's as simple as that. We've been saying it all night long. They don't need to worry about Eastern Michigan and Toledo right now. Do your best to beat Ball State. You win, you get into the tournament. That's what you need to be focused on if you're the Chippewas.
The Ball State Cardinals seem loose coming back out. Vasilakis once again, very soft serve to the left side. Robertson solo block on the left side by Alex Filling. as you see the Cardinals erupt in that huddle.
And if you're talking about how loose Ball State was and why not, you have no other choice to be relaxed. You're in the tournament already. All the pressure in the world's on Central Michigan, whether they get in the tournament or not. They had a 2-1 set lead in this match, and now Ball State comes firing back.
Mitri on the left side with the hard attack. I don't know about you, but I'm surprised that they haven't went to Mitri more. It just seems like something's clicking every time she attacks. It almost seems like good things happen.
Well, that's now not, she has 9 kills on the night, and she's coming off a performance last night at Toledo where she had 11. So she's somebody who's really playing extremely well.
Only has 1 error on the night as well. Emily Holland sends it too far right. 10-7. And a timeout by Steve Shondell as the Cardinals' lead is only 3. And we continue to check the score over in Toledo. 10-5, Eastern Michigan leads by 5. And it's becoming more evident that it may be Central Michigan has to win this match or else they are out of the Mid-American Conference Tournament.
And Corey, coming into yesterday, it was all Central Michigan. Everybody thought they nearly had it all locked up. All they had to do was win one of their 2 matches. The only way Eastern Michigan could get into the tournament after this weekend was if they went 2-0 and Central went 0-2, and it's becoming more and more looking that way. As you said, Eastern Michigan up by 5 on Toledo in set number 5, and Central here inside Worthen Arena trailing Ball State by 3.
Jordan Beater and the Chippewas looking to come back from a 3-point deficit. But the Ball State Cardinals on senior night here in Worthen Arena looking to close it out. Back to serve for the Chippewas is Laura Wilson. Out of bounds, too far. And that's just a mistake that you know Teresa Beckman is just kicking herself because it's a mistake nonetheless, but then you add on top the situation that they're in.
And you can control that. All you have to do is put the ball in play there if you're Wilson. Make the Ball State defense have to react and make a play of their own. You didn't force them to do it that time, and Ball State gets the point out of it.
Mulford in the middle, dug out by Vasilakis. Back set to Robertson, who puts it into the hands of Holland and drops down for the kill. 11-8. Ball State leads by 3, but needs 4 more. Haley Barker in to serve for Central Michigan. Emily Holland on the right side. Mitri with the cross-court kill. Once again, the powerful right-handed swing.
What an answer here for Central Michigan. After that service error, they went down by 4. You could feel the Ball State energy with their crowd here. Cross-court kill. Katie Vasilakis doesn't have any time to react to it, and it's now a 2-point game.
Spadafora puts it to the left side, but it just barely bounces out of bounds. So close on the left side. I was watching it go down and still was unsure. Timeout by Steve Shondell as he finds his team up against the wall. 11-10. Central Michigan, it's win or possibly be out of the Mid-American Conference Tournament. For Ball State, you win and you secure the 6th seed.
Great spot for this timeout here for Steve Shondell. Called one a little bit ago. Ball State comes out. They don't react very well. Central Michigan pulls within 1. And before you allow the Chippewas to take a lead, I really like this timeout because he has an opportunity to sit his girls down, calm them down, tell them you're only 4 points away from winning the match.
Central Michigan at 6-9. Ball State, they would move to 8-8 with a win and secure the 6th spot. And Buffalo has the tiebreaker over Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan at this point, but Buffalo's playing a tough Kent State team tonight. And if Central Michigan could win tonight against the Cardinals, we may see a rematch next weekend.
And what a rematch that would be, as we've seen it gone down to the wire between Ball State and Central Michigan. It started in set number 1. It went back and forth. The final score of that one was 29-27. And here we are in set number 5, and it's 11-10.
Haley Barker back to serve for the Chippewas out of the timeout. Filling up through the middle, and it hits the right line.
What a night for Alex Filling. It's a senior night that she's going to remember forever. 20 kills now in the night to go with 21 digs. She's done a little bit of everything for this Cardinal team tonight.
Used to be a libero at times last season. So good on the defensive end, although we normally talk about her offensive prowess. Kitchell on the left side. Mitri hits the antenna with the left side of the attack. 13-10, the Ball State Cardinals 2 points away from closing this match out here on senior night after trailing 2-1. Filling back to serve. She wants to end her senior night on a positive note. Mitri blocked at the net. Spadafora and Emily Holland and the Worthen Arena fans arise to their feet as the Cardinals have 4 match points ahead of them. Central Michigan with their backs against the wall. Sanchez set in the middle to Mulford, dug out by Vasilakis. Mitri on the left side, dug out by Vasilakis again. Schreiner gives it to Filling, blocked at the net. Kitchell shoves it into the blockers at the net, and it drops down for the Ball State kill, point, and match.
3-2 in an outstanding match.
15-10, the Ball State Cardinals take set 5 and come back on a tremendous senior night that I'm sure these 6 seniors on the team will remember for a long time.
It was looking bleak there for a little bit for the Cardinals when they fell behind 2-1, but a great comeback. They played tremendous in the 4th set, came out firing on all cylinders in the 5th set. They were able to withstand a run from Central Michigan halfway through the 5th set. It got as close as 1, but the Cardinals ultimately able to score 4 straight points to put it away and lock up a 6th seed for the MAC tournament starting in Athens next Thursday.
6th seed for the Ball State Cardinals, and they will play next Thursday, likely against the Buffalo Bulls. As we keep an eye on this match in Toledo, Ohio, have the live stats pulled up, 12-12 in set 5. And the Ball State Cardinals do what they needed to do here tonight and win set number 5 in Worthen Arena on senior night, a great way to end those 6 seniors' career. For Noah Reed, I'm Corey Stace saying so long from Worthen Arena, where the final score is 3-2. The Ball State Cardinals pull out this women's volleyball match. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN.